So one of the questions we always get is this webinar being recorded? And I see several people have posted that, and I appreciate that because I'm notoriously bad at remembering to record webinars. So I did just push the record button, and we are rocking and rolling with the recording. So if you've registered for this webinar, which obviously you have if you're here, or if later on you're watching this recording, then this is being made available to you, and I'm happy to do it. And thank goodness we've got people in the room who are alert and saying, hey, don't forget to push the record button. So I appreciate that. So it is being recorded now. And again, this is a webinar with myself, Dr. Barry Burns of Top Dog Trading, and Gary Odom, the programmer for the Top Dog Visualized Trader. And today we're introducing it for the very first time for NinjaTrader. It's always been available, or it's also been available previously for Thinkorswim, and I'll be happy to give you that link. I see some people are asking for the link for Thinkorswim. Be happy to share both links to you here in just a few minutes. So first of all, let me bring up my, let's see here, got to bring up my screen. And let's see how we can do this most effectively. I think doing it just right there. Okay, so now you should be able to see a chart. And this is a chart, a daily chart. And so this is basically how it works. Now there's a lot more to it than this. You can make this super simple if you want to. And Gary does that. That was his purpose, as he said, to make this very, very simple. But there's also some, nuances to it that you can use if you choose to as well. So the first thing I want to say is that down here we have what's called the Visualized Trader volume, and that is it comes with the Visualized Trader. And so obviously, normally we don't use volume a lot with Top Dog Trading unless you get into the higher echelons of my teaching for day trading and swing trading. But with the Visualized Trader, we do use volume, and it's a color-coded, everything's color-coded to make it real easy. So you'll see the current volume, and then you can compare that to the average volume. And then you see the volume bars. And basically what's happening there is it's colored green or red, real simple. Green is up, red is down. So basically if the volume is greater than the bar before it, it is green. And we prefer to buy and sell. That's the one part that maybe is a little counterintuitive, but we like to enter trades on volume that's a little bigger, where we got more volume coming in. So even if the volume is, or if the price is moving down on a chart, on increased volume, it'll show as green on the volume bar. But that's what you want. Just think, I like to enter on increased volume, more trades coming in, more people in the market participating, and that's what we want to excel the market and push it in a certain direction so there's follow through in that direction. Now, I happen to have the Top Dog custom indicators on here as well. The Top Dog custom indicators, as far as MOM, stochastics, the wave counts, that's a separate package that's been available for years. That is not part of the Visualized Trader. That's a separate package. You can incorporate it along with it if you'd like to, or you don't have to. So when we were first doing this, when Gary first created it, I didn't have any Top Dog customized indicators for Thinkorswim. In fact, I still don't. So he doesn't use the custom indicators with wave counts and the mini divergences marked and the MOM wave counts and all of that. So it's not necessary to use to have that in order to trade the Visualized Trader. All right, but I've got them on here just for really showing you what is going on. So here at the right edge of the screen, what we've got is measuring these 5 things. So trend is up. So here's our 50 MA. If we just look at our indicators, then we would say, okay, yep, 50 MA is up, it's green, angling up. But over here, we've got a nice little label that just tells you, boom, trend is up. And it's colored green. Now, if trend was down, that would be colored red. So you got both the color coding and the text telling you exactly what it is. Now here's a new one. PC is up. That's price change. So that again, this isn't, what Gary's done here is he's taken the Top Dog Trading methodology and then he's made some little tweaks to it that he likes. And they're good. So price change is up basically means that looking at the individual bar, that we are above the open. We're closing above the open. That's a green bar. And so we want to trade in the direction that the market is currently moving at that moment in time. And so he's added that as well. So that is green, and the text indicates that. Now, stochastic indicates a buy. All right, so here we look down, and basically we're looking for the angle to be up so that we're indicating an upcycle. Now, in and of itself, it does not, with the visualized trader, for it to indicate a buy, it does not have to come down to 20. So that, again, is one of the differences. And the reason is because the visualized trader is really a trend trading method. So it's all trend. It's all trading in the dominant, extended, general direction of the market. So therefore, as you know, with the cycle indicator, it can go, and generally, in fact, half cycles are extended in the direction of the trend. So they will be going up and up, and they can stay up here on the top side for quite a while in the direction of the trend, in the dominant direction of the market. And so that's the reason, or at least one reason, I'll let him speak for himself later, that he doesn't personally always insist that the indicator comes down to the bottom of the range before taking a trade. All right. So, yeah, now you can adjust that, by the way. You can adjust that. If you want to, we've added into this indicator parameters that are flexible so that you can adjust this to your own style. So if you say, well, but I only want to take trades where K does come down to the lower bottom of the range, you can go into the parameters of the indicator and you can set it that way. So it'll only give you signals when it does that. Mom is up, of course. There's mom up. That's about all there is to say about that. Dad is up. That's another thing, you know, in Top Dog Trading and the original 5 Energy methodology, we don't necessarily require that Dad is up at the time of the trade because we use mom as a leading indicator of Dad. But Gary is, again, what he's really looking for is a major confluence of multiple energies, and by the way, doing this on multiple time frames as well, where everything is just green, 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 nothing but net. And so, of course, it is. So now you can look at the indicators, you can see all that. But now what's cool is you can come over here, and let me see if I can get a little pen color going here. We'll use blue. Okay. So now all you have to do is look at this. Bada bing, bada boom. Green, 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 and you know it's great. In fact, we can even now. Here's where we get to if you want to simplify your trading. All right, so we can go in here, and we can go into the indicators, and we can take off the EMA. We can take off the cycles. We can take off momentum. You could even take off the waves if you wanted to. Just leave visual. This is the 2 indicators you'll be getting. The Visualized Trader volume, you'll actually get 2 files, and the Top Dog Visualized Trader. They're separate files. You upload them into NinjaTrader individually. And then here are the different parameters that you can set. Okay, and in the Visualized Trader itself, you can do extra things here too. So let's say that you say, well, I want to measure trend, but you know what? I don't want to use the simple moving average. Look at that. We've got exponential moving average, all these different moving averages that you can use if you'd rather use one of them instead. You can hide the moving average, or you can show it. Here's where, of course, you set, because it's measuring momentum and stochastics, you've got to put your, actually it comes defaulted that way, but if you want to change that, you could. So for example, if you're going to look at a daily and a weekly chart, then as you know, because of the 5-to-1 ratio, you would change the inputs of mom and dad. So on the weekly chart, on the Visualized Trader, you'd also go in and change these parameters to 3, 10, and 15. And let's see, what are they here? 3, 1, no, 3, 3, and 1, I think it is, yeah. So that's what you do. Now, here's another one I love. Activate alerts. So you can create, and this would be a sound alert. And here you can choose whatever sound file you want. on your computer. Any sound file you have on your computer, you can put in here. So what does that do? Well, when all the energies align, even if you're not looking at the chart, it will give you an audio alert. So you could be distracted, checking your email, talking to your kids, playing with your puppies, whatever, and all of a sudden, all the energies align, and boom, it'll send you an audio alert to bring your attention back to the screen. All right, here you can change your colors like we talked about. I like them green and red, but it's up to you. I think this neutral one defaults to yellow. So you want to change these based on what the background color of your screen is, of your chart. So I changed it to black because I'm using a white background on my chart. But if you're using a black background, which I believe Gary does, then yellow for neutral is great. But the yellow on the white doesn't show up so well. Remember here too, this is another thing you want to be very careful of. Calculate on bar close, we want to put that to false. NinjaTrader puts that to true by default. So this means it'll calculate intra-bar, under the current live bar. If you leave it at true to calculate on bar close, it only calculates on the last closed bar. All right, let's see what else here is important to point out. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. So now we've taken off all the other indicators, and now we're just left with the Visualize Trader and Visualize Trader volume. So see how clean the charts are. I mean, crazy clean, right? Really makes a big difference for people who want that clean, crisp, clarity, simple look. And now that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I wonder if we could make it even cleaner. I think we can. Let's see if I remember how to do this now. So if we go into the Visualize Trader, let's see where that is. Activate alerts, display trade labels. That's it. So we just go here, you just click on that, and you get a little drop-down bar. Multiple choice, true or false. And we'll click OK. And now what happened? Our trade labels, these were called the trade labels up here at the top. Remember those were up here? They all went away. They're gone. Well, now it feels like you're flying blind, but guess what? You're not. Because now what you still have, and these were here all along, I just didn't point them out before, are these little triangles. And these little triangles pop up when you have the energies aligned. So that triangle, this triangle. So, you know, that would have been a nice place to get into this market. Okay. So you can make it as simple as you want. You can really make this simple and clean if you want to. All right, now let's get all this stuff off of here. And let me show you something else. Let me bring off this and bring up some different charts here. And we'll get to your questions. I see that you got a lot of questions here, and so that's cool. We'll get to them, but let me just kind of get through the initial presentation here first so that we have a foundation to work from. All right, so we got a really cool thing here that I love. I think you're going to like this too, because we've had a lot of requests for this type of functionality before. All right, just aligning. I'm bringing up multiple charts now is what I'm doing. And I'm not really sure how I'm going to be able to do this and show it on the screen. I think I'm going to have to do it this way. I'm just going to have to make it fill my whole screen in order to be able to show it to you guys, because we've got 3 different windows here. Okay, so let's see. Daily and weekly is what I'm going to look at. And oh, let me show you this too. Okay, so let's bring up this screen here. There we go. Okay, that should do it. So let me just make sure. Can you guys see the market analyzer on the left and then the daily and the weekly chart? Is it showing up? Okay, great, cool. Okay, so this is really cool. Now, first of all, once you get all your indicators on here, whatever you choose to use, all right, whether you choose to have the stochastics, the MACD, moving averages, whatever, then what you want to do is you want to create a template. So you'll go down here and then you'll just click template and then save as and create a name for it, okay? So that's it. Now, I've already saved one, so let me go down here, and the nice thing is I took all these indicators off, or I can go back and put them all right back on by just going to the VT template that I created, and bam, there they are. So nice, so sweet. Okay. Now, here's what's cool about this. So you can bring up your market analyzer and put a bunch of markets in there, whatever you want. It could be, futures, it could be currencies, stocks, whatever you trade. And as you can see here now, I'm just using this example, daily and weekly. So you can go in here, and what you do is you right-click, and then you go to columns. Okay, so after you put your markets in, then you go to columns, and then what you'll do is you'll go down to, in the columns, you have to go to, it's kind of a little counterintuitive, I think. You would think all the indicators are here, but they're really not. What you have to go to is actually the word indicator. Okay, and then you double click on that, and it'll pull it up here. Then you got to go over here, and it always pulls up ADL. It's just alphabetical. Then you go down here to this side, and you choose whatever indicator you want, and there's all your indicators. All right. So I like to point that out because that gets people, a lot of people are confused about that. And then you'll choose Top Dog Visualize Trader. Well, I've already got it here, so I don't need to do that. Now, here's the cool thing, though. I can do two of them, which I did. I did one on a daily data. In other words, you go up here and you choose your time frame, your time interval. So I've got the same indicator in here twice, Top Dog Visualize Trader. One is a daily interval, and then the other one's the exact same thing, but this one's on the weekly interval. Okay. Now, when you go to weekly, again, you're going to want to go down here, and I didn't do it yet, and you're going to want to change these. Actually, wait a minute. I think these were correct actually before. Yeah. So then what it does, very simply, is, we'll see when we pull up with the charts, but I'm pretty sure I had it correct. So what it does is it'll show you, most of the time, of course, it's going to be neutral, right? Because the five energies are not aligned most of the time. But when they are aligned to the bearish side, it will say bearish. Right, and so here it is. Here's our, and by the way, if you link these together, what you do is you come up here and you just click a color. Okay, and then you go to your other two charts, the L's for link, and you choose the same color. That way, every time I click on a symbol here, it'll automatically upload that same symbol in the other two charts. So it's nice. So as you can see, it says bearish here on the daily, and that's because all these are bearish. Now on the weekly, it's not, because data is up. So it's neutral. Let's see, let me see if I can open this up a little bit more so we can see all five of them at the same time. Okay, that's good enough. So let's go to one where they're all aligned. Okay, so Walmart, bearish and bearish. And then again, all five are red, all five are red. So this is a great thing to do for swing traders who are, they don't want to sit there and you don't want to look through every single chart in the S&P 500 or the Dow 30 or the NASDAQ or, the whole stock market, God forbid. And you're just looking for opportunities. And you just look at this and you just look for where they're aligned on both time frames. Say, I don't trade this just on one time frame. I was showing you on one time frame when we got started just to give you the basics, just to start somewhere and show you basically how it works. But when you go to trade it, we want to do it on two, or even you can obviously do it on three time frames. In fact, I'll show you a screen capture of a trade I took before that was on three time frames. That was intraday trading. And I'll show you one of my favorite ways to do this personally. So, okay, so Walmart, all bearish. Now, Adobe, all bullish. ADP, all bullish. In fact, another thing is you can kind of get a feel for market sentiment by scrolling through this, and there's a lot more green than red, right? A lot more green than red, a lot more matches. In fact, there's quite a few matches. We already looked at that one. You know, so Google. So it's just beautiful. Here you go. Boom. Right there. That's how you, it's not really scanning. NinjaTrader doesn't really scan, but it's sorting through the market analyzer. So great way to find trades. And you can do this on an intraday basis as well. If you want to do whatever, 1,000 tick chart and 3,000 tick chart, 5 minute and 15, whatever. And you can put in a third time interval there. And then you can have audio alerts so that when these pop up, it again brings your eyes back to it. So I think that's one of the really powerful ways of using this. Let me show you another powerful way of using this that I personally really like. Let me get these windows out of here, and let me bring, this is a screenshot. Alrighty, here we go. There we go. Okay, so now if you look at this one, this is one of my favorite setups personally. No indicators, no labels up here. This is the E-minis, by the way. Or no, I forget. Yeah, no, this is the NT. So, but here's what's cool. Now, I do keep my moving averages on there. I like to keep my moving averages. But we're looking at what? The triangles. See the little triangles? All 3 time frames at the same time, concurrently. So all 3 time frames, and just works out beautifully. So that is very powerful when you get all 3 time frames at the same time. And so that's one of the things I personally like to look for. Yes, E-minis, absolutely. Yep, but it will work on the NQs. It'll work on crude. We got a lot of people trading crude, gold, obviously stocks, obviously Forex. Yeah. So, you know, I trade the E-minis, so that's why I'm pointing this out. I like to trade the, do that. Okay, so let's see here. I think I've covered most of everything I had to cover. You guys got a lot of questions, and so that's great. We want to get to that. Let me see here. IWM. Dick wants to look at IWM. Let's see if it's on my list. Might have to import it. Yeah, I'll be happy to do that, but I have to import it. So, yeah, let me stop right there, and I will turn it over to the creator. You know, I've kind of shared with you my perspective on it, how I look at it, and the benefits I see in it. But Gary's the man. He's the guy who created this thing, and so he has his own way of doing this, and he trades it. So, Gary, let me turn the mic over to you, and also any, if you want to show any screenshots or windows or charts or anything, take it away and kind of share with people your experience and how you trade the Visualized Trader.
Thank you, Barry. Can you guys hear me? Oh, maybe not. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Gary, we can hear you, but they can't talk.
No, I didn't have my question box opened up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I just opened it up, so there we go. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Do I need to change presenter to get my screens up here? Okay,
yeah, I think you do, yeah.
I'm taking care of it.
Okay.
Okay. I decided to just throw my screens up here. Barry had his up here as well, and this is what mine looks like. This is the 3-chart setup I use. I know it's kind of screwy looking, but it enables me to get everything in one place. The smaller chart is the faster time frame, and this one happens to be, I think, a 30, 10, and 3 minute. I tend to trade normally times longer than that. I'm kind of a day trader, but I use times that seem to be a bit more predictive to me, and it's just my personal style. But there's a couple of things I wanted to share with you on here that Barry mentioned something about them, but I think we need to kind of take a look at what he was talking about. and that is over here on this K limit. Number 13 says K limit. I have it set to a 0. Now, what that number is, it is a value that is used in itself or subtracted from 100. By that I mean stochastic goes from 0 to 100. So if you put a 20 value in there, it will not exercise a trade below the 20. That would be a short, of course, nor would it exercise a trade above the 80, which would be a long trade. So it keeps it more in the middle of the chart. If you want to squeeze it down some more, you can do a 30-70. But that's the way that works. Frankly, I never use it. And the reason I never use it is because it is phenomenal, the number of good trades that I catch in the extended limits of stochastics. And there's a reason for that. It's a reason that stochastics only goes so far. Then it actually quits telling you what's going on. If it's up there bouncing between the 80 and the top side, it's a bounded indicator. It can't go anywhere. That doesn't mean that price can't go anywhere, and it well may exceed that. And I've found that it offers no advantage to me to trade under the 80 or under the 70, just to let it run its course. And as long as the K is headed in the right direction, then it'll still give me a signal to trade. Now, that's where I come from. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it the other way if you wish. Also, about alert sounds. When you're setting up your market analyzer, you have the options to turn the alerts on or off. I strongly advise you to turn them off, or else you will go crazy with all the beeps that will be coming across there. It will be so noisy you'll think you're in a pool hall. So turn the alerts off of your market analyzer, and you'll appreciate that. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the back end of the TD Visualize Trader. If I can bring this up here. It has to do with psychology more than anything else. You know, I'd say get out of the way of your success. I found that many traders are their own worst enemy. They cause themselves more trouble than what they really need to, but sometimes it's a discipline problem, sometimes it's an emotional problem. But in either case, we can become our own worst enemy. So I designed the Top Dog Visualizer Trader for the reason of simplicity. Barry's talked about that quite a bit, that it is very simple, and it is simple. You don't have to look at the squiggles and the lines and determine whether or not is that gradually up or is that gradually down. Since it's all done mathematically, there is no error about whether that line is going up or down, and sometimes the actual drawn graph will be wrong. The mathematics will be right. And of course, when you know that the signal is showing like it should be showing, it removes any kind of doubt you might have in your mind. Sometimes looking at these squiggly little lines, at least it was so in my case, I just wasn't sure. Now, do I really want to take that signal? I don't know. I can't tell. Is that coming across there, or is that going over there? So we can quit worrying about that, because we just look for the indicators of the labels or the little triangles. Of course, it definitely speeds up your decision process, which is very important if you're trading very short charts. I took a mentorship. As a matter of fact, it was something that it came by through the back door, I guess you say, from Top Dog Trading. And there was one of the coaches, one of the mentors there, who traded 40-second charts. And I thought he was some kind of superhero, because he could actually make up his mind. That was back at the time when I could hardly trade a chart as long as a 5-minute chart because it was moving too fast. Now, of course, 20 seconds would not be too short. But if you're having problems with that, having the signals to work with definitely speeds up your decision process. How about subjectivity? How much do we put into the picture that we see before us? I'm sure that we do quite a bit, because emotions enter the picture. Well, if you're just looking at the signals, you're just looking at the labels, the rules become infinitely easier to follow. So it takes that aspect of subjectivity out of it because it's giving you a very objective picture before you. When you find yourself making good trades, it really will build the confidence in your decisions. Guess what? Confidence takes away that fear of loss. It takes away that hesitation to entering the trades. Maybe some of you don't have that, and bless you if you don't. But I was plagued with all the devils. They all gave me trouble. I had to overcome all those before I became a successful trader. Now here's something pretty great. If you'll notice that when the pictures of the graphs were up there, we'll go back there and look at them in just a minute. The triangles didn't appear and then went away. They stayed there. So if you wanted to put a chart up and you had a way to roll it back 3 months, those signals will be there. This is exactly what it told you to do 3 months ago. So how's that for back testing? Nobody can say, oh, well, because they have the whole picture before them, I would take this trade here because such and such. It was already determined before you ever got to look at the picture whether or not the trade was recommended. Consistency is very important. It helps maintain the odds that we depend on for trading success. And if you're doing something the same way every time, it will build you consistency. And of course, bottom ends, we want to improve the odds of successful trades because that's what we do it for, is to be successful. Barry, you found the RWM yet? Guess he's not back with us.
No, I didn't, but I'll pull that up here in a second.
Okay. I just wanted to roll back the picture here a little bit. I was talking about back testing, so to speak. But this is a short chart, but regardless, we can roll this back to whatever this date is at 8:57 in the morning. And we can see what all the signals were, and we can see what the outcome of them was. If I didn't have these signals in this page, I could say, oh, I see here we have a big harami followed by a spinning top, and then this looks like a real bullish move, and I would take the trade on this candle because he's already looking over here to the right to see exactly what it does. We can't cheat you. If you didn't have a signal there, it wouldn't have been recommended at the time. All right, let's talk about some questions here. Have you sorted through any, or do I need to take a look here, Mary?
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Let me take them in order here. To be fair, we had a lot of questions from the minute we started the webinar.
Yeah, we did.
I know. Let's see, but some of you have already answered about the stochastic being at the edge. Okay. Okay, so here's a good question. Is the software available for Ninja 7 or NinjaTrader 8? Right now it's available only for NinjaTrader 7 because 8 is still in beta. But once 8, I've already talked to NinjaTrader about this. So once they're still, doing some testing and stuff. So what we don't do, and it's just a policy of Top Dog Trading, we don't come out with indicators during the beta stage because they're still making changes. And so then we come out with it, and then I have to go back to my programmer and say, oh, you got to make some more changes. Then we come out, and that's like, oh, wait, next week, got to make some more changes again. And that's really annoying, number one. It's expensive, number two, and it's not stable, number three. So we will come out with it for NinjaTrader 8 when NinjaTrader 8 is stable, and you will get that upgrade for free if you buy it for NinjaTrader 7. So good question there. All right, let's see what else.
I just saw one, Barry, that related to one of the last things I was talking about. That was back testing.
Okay.
And it said, are you saying, the question's going beyond, let me see if I can scroll up and see it. It says something about, are you saying the triangles do not rewrite themselves? If they go back in time, they will look the same as they did in real time. And yes, that's what we're saying. Once that bar closes, that triangle is frozen. It will not change.
Okay, good. And I've got actually interesting, quite a few people asking if it's available for Thinkorswim or where it's available for Thinkorswim. So that's good. I guess not a lot of people knew about that. So yes, I typed the URL into the chat box for both the order page for Thinkorswim and also for the NinjaTrader version. So the first one I typed in is for NinjaTrader, and then below that I typed the link for Thinkorswim. Those are the order pages, and they're both active right now. It's the same price for either one. So it's those should be clickable links. If you're on a mobile device, they may not be clickable. So, or you might not even be able to see them if you're on a mobile device. So I can bring them up and show them on the screen here in a few minutes. But if you're on a desktop, then those should be clickable links. If not, just copy and paste it into the address of your browser, the address bar of your browser. Okay, let's see. So yeah, you can still get a lot of people asking if it's still available for Thinkorswim. Absolutely. Yes, it is. Okay, does the system have all the indicators inside, or do we have to install them on a chart and then we have the option to show them on a chart or not? The indicators come as files. What happens is the process is this. You place your order, and then you'll get an automated email. Actually, you're sent to a thank you page that explains what to do, and you'll also get an email that explains the same thing just to make sure you're covered. But basically, all you have to do is send us the machine number of your NinjaTrader platform. And it shows you exactly how to do that. You simply go to your control panel, or control center it's called, go to the help menu, go down to let's see, about, and your machine number ID will be there, and you just copy and paste it into an email. Then we register it, and once we have it registered with NinjaTrader, then we send you actually 3 files, and in the email there'll be a complete explanation of how to install the indicators. It's real easy, and those 3 files will be, number 1, a manual. So you're getting a manual, a PDF manual, that goes through all the details of what Gary has put together, how to use the indicators, and how to trade them. Number 2 will be the visualized trader, and number 3 will be the volume indicator. So, and all you do to install those, it's real simple. You just after you get the email, don't open the files, but download them to your computer somewhere where you know that they are, where you can locate them. Go back to your control center window. You go to File, Utilities, and then Import NinjaScript, and it'll bring up a dialog window to help you find the file on your computer. Import it, bada bing, bada boom, you're done. You'll have to do that with both of the files. And then you just go into a chart like any other chart. Right-click on your chart. The indicator will be there. It's listed in alphabetical order. You just click on it, and it'll upload all these different functionalities onto your chart. So you don't have to upload each one individually. You just load up the visualized trader and the volume. Those are the only 2 separate ones. So once you do that, they just automatically import and upload, and you can take them off anytime you want. You can add them back on anytime you want. So you got a lot of flexibility there. Peter is asking, will this work with range bars? I've never tried it with range bars. Have you? Do you know about that, Gary?
Well, since range bars are kind of constricted as far as watching what price is actually doing, it might work, but I don't think it'll work as effectively because it takes some of the nuances out of actual price or movement. That's what range bars do.
Yeah. And Paulus is saying, are you saying that even on a short trade you enter when there is a green volume bar? Yeah, because that means increased volume. So yes, that is correct. We don't have any bundle deal with the customized indicators and the visualized trader. So no, there's no extra discount for that. Let's see, this was already answered. Oh, okay, here's a good question, because I know this probably is, some people are kind of grouping different topics or the similar topics together here. So here's a good question for you, Gary. He says, but if you wait for everything to be in agreement, isn't there the danger of you being too late in the trend?
Absolutely. That's why wave count's very important. I had someone that sent me an email today that said that they had purchased Barry's course, but the top dog trading methodology, but they never completed it, and said, I guess this program will just make it easier for me. Well, yes, the answer is true, and in certain aspects of it, the signals will remain the same whether you understand the top dog methodology or not. But knowing the methodology would help you decide which set of signals to take. But just because all three line up does not mean that you will be late in the trade. Only if you're far in the wave count, many, many times, they all line up and it's crossing the 50. So, no. To answer your question, does the three line up mean it's going to be a late trade? No. But waiting late in the trade will make it a late trade. I know that doesn't make any sense, but that's the best I can do with
it. Okay, here's another good question. Andre is asking if the alerts can be set up to send not just audio, but send an email or some kind of alert to your cell phone.
I'm not sure what NinjaTrader setup is. We do have it on the TOS version. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure exactly how that works with NinjaTrader, because TOS has a separate a function in their platform to send out alerts.
Right. Yeah, I know. Thinkorswim does have that. That would be a functionality of a NinjaTrader, and I've never used that, so I'm not aware that they have that functionality, but I couldn't honestly tell you for certain that they do not. But good question. You'd have to ask NinjaTrader. If NinjaTrader can do it, then yes, it can be done. Now, a couple of people have asked this question. Does the triangle appear at the close of the bar or intra-bar?
Yes. Actually, there are occurrences where the triangle might blink on you because it's so sensitive about when the energies first line up. And you know, price goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. It changes within the bar. So it's possible that the triangle could blink, which is okay because you know it's already leaning to the direction that you want to go. You can count it. It will likely close. If it's blinking in there, it will likely close unless it's maybe on a doji, then you know it could go either way. Mm-hmm. But it's real sensitive, and and that's why I answered yes. It happens intra-bar as it's happening, and once it closes, that's it. It'll either mark or it won't, and that will be the final state of that particular bar.
Yeah, for me, I don't trade until the bar closes, so then it's there for good. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of good to have the alerts. In fact, not kind of good. Actually, I think it's absolutely essential for it to signal intra-bar, because it'll create the alert, and I want to be alerted before the bar closes because I got to take the trade when the bar closes. So I want the alert before the bar closes. That doesn't mean I'll take the trade, but at least I'm focused, and it gives me time to analyze everything, look at it, and make a decision. Okay, if this closes with the alert, then am I going to take the trade? But if it only alerted at the close of the bar, well, yeah, then you got to look at it and make that decision. And in the meantime, the market's probably moving away from you.
There's something important to say about that, and you really brought it to mind when you said you wanted to take the trade after the bar close. One must remember, this is not a red light, green light system. Right. It's not designed to be an auto trader, not in an auto format. What it signals you is that all the energies are lined up. You still have to decide whether or not you want to take the trade. Mm-hmm. They could all line up, and it could be on flat volume. You know what? I don't think I would take that trade, mm-hmm. because volume is not linked to the signals. It is a separate and apart study.
Right.
So if you decide that volume's important and you need to have volume, then that's what you've decided. As a matter of fact, maybe someday in a very far future, we may include that as something you could turn on and off inside the study.
Yeah.
But we don't have any plans to do it right away. It's just too easy to look down at their volume bar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. Okay, now here's another one that several people are asking, and that is about exits. We've talked about entries, but they're asking, how do you determine when to get out of a trade after you're in the trade?
There's a lot of professional traders that would like to know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Well, what do you do?
Exits are infinitely more difficult than entries are.
Yeah.
And the fear is, in everybody's mind, is what if I get out too soon? Well, what if you do? If you're in profit, so what? You can always get back in. So don't let that be a fear. All you've lost is commission. So it's no big deal. But what I do is I guess in a sense, when it comes to exits, I'm a candlestick trader. I look to see what the candlesticks are doing. It looks like it's going to take off in a general direction that's not favorable to where I want to go. I don't need to wait around for it to confirm that it's going to do that. Personally, I will go ahead and exit. And if I was wrong and it turned and went the other way and gave me a setup, I could always get back in. So that's the way I approach it.
Right. All right, and let's see, several people asking about multiple time frames. So yeah, we do use multiple time frames, obviously, but it doesn't show you multiple time frames on one chart. So that's why, as you can see right now, Gary's got the 10-minute and the 30-minute chart up there, and a 3-minute down at the bottom, actually. And when I showed you the market analyzer, I was showing you the columns with the multiple time frames. So I would always use multiple time frames with it, though, absolutely. Travis is wondering what 3 time frames I was using on the ES chart. That was a 1,000 tick chart, a 3,000 tick chart, and a 9,000 tick chart. A lot of people asking, or quite a few people, what is mom and what is dad? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. Evidently, these are people who haven't taken my courses yet, and that's fine. Basically, they're momentum. That's why it's called mom. Mom is just short for momentum. And dad is literally just a moving average of the mom momentum indicator. So it kind of smooths it. So I just call it dad because it's the D stands for direction. It's the smooth direction of momentum. And then I added the A and the D to the original D just because mom and dad kind of go together. So just to be cutesy, I guess. But anyway, that's what it is. It's momentum. It's the strength. So we're showing the trend here, but trend is great, but that's just direction. And then the next question would be, well, is that a strong trend or a weak trend? If it's a strong trend, then we expect it to continue. If it's a weak trend, then we don't expect it to follow through. So that's the concept behind it. That's the principle behind it, and that's why we want momentum to be strong and trend to be strong. And dad is also momentum, but the momentum mom is a short-term momentum indicator. Dad is a longer-term momentum indicator. It's the best way to say that. Let's see. The Thinkorswim and the NinjaTrader licenses are separate, so you don't get both for one fee. Yeah, we will be doing some videos and doing some training. I've already done one training video on this, by the way, that you will get, and then we'll kind of watch as questions come in, see what kind of questions people have, and I'll create some more videos, and anybody who subscribes and gets this will get access to those training videos as well. How many pairs are available for Forex? Well, this indicator, it doesn't limit you to any particular instruments or markets. So any instruments you have data for, any markets you have data for, in this case, whatever Forex pairs you have data for, you can use this indicator with.
I did get a question on Forex volume.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
As many of you know, the volume, if you get any, some platforms don't give you any at all, but the volume for Forex is just very limited to one particular, maybe bank or place where that particular Forex trading is done. It doesn't represent the whole market like volume would be like on a New York Stock Exchange. So I don't know that volume's highly valuable on Forex because it's just not representative of the whole Forex market since it's so, international.
Yeah, because there's no central exchange for spot Forex. Now, there's a couple things you can do with that. First of all, one thing to be aware of is even if your broker does supply you with spot Forex volume, it's often tick volume, meaning not the number of trades, or I'm sorry, it is the number of trades, not the number of lots that have gone through, or the, So that's one thing to be aware of. That makes it different than volume for stocks or futures. Another thing you can do is you can also you can pull up a futures chart of the currency you're trading, because the futures currencies do trade through a central exchange. And so you can look at the volume on that to help you be informed on your spot Forex position. So it's kind of a little...
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
Well, it's a little workaround. It's a good indication. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but it's a pretty darn good indication, especially if you're trading during sunlight on the planet where those currencies are trading. So the active hours for that currency, in other words. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is a good question. I'm not sure about this. Bruce is asking if the triangles painted on the chart can also show up in the data box of NinjaTrader. I would think so.
I'm not sure that I don't know the answer. I'm not highly attuned to the NinjaTrader platform, so I would not be the one to answer that question.
Yeah, let me, I haven't done it because I don't really look at that in the data box. I'm only looking at really the high and the low. That's all I look at. I don't look at any indicators in there, but let's see.
I know that if I open the data box up on TOX, it'll say yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
If it has a triangle, it'd be yes. Of course, on TOS, it's an arrow, but anyway, that's what it says on TOS, but I don't know. NinjaTrader, I don't actually trade with NinjaTrader.
Well, I just opened the indicator here, and there is a place in it under visual where it says display in data box, and you can choose true or false.
Yeah, there you go.
So evidently you can. Actually, I've got it set for true, so let me try it. Let me pull up a data box here. That's a good question. See, every once in a while, people bring up questions that I hadn't even considered yet. Well, there it is. Look at that. It is there.
You want your screen back?
Sure.
Let me give you your screen back. Yeah, let me give it back to you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I don't see it yet. There it is.
Okay, so it looks like, yeah, interesting.
Dead up, dead down.
Yeah.
And what's great is it gives you a, well, I don't know what a negative up is. I don't know what that means.
Cool.
Oh, no,
well,
it's below zero. That's what it is. It's below zero.
Yeah, see, I've got some other indicators on this chart. I've got my stochastics, my mom, my dad. The second chance pattern is on there.
Right.
So all those things can be put on the data box. Yeah. So here's your top dog visualized trader. So basically, you got bullish alert, bearish alert, and right now it's not applicable. So, yeah. So if you wanted to just look at that, that's what you would look at right there. So
I wonder if you have to turn the alert function on, because there is a box in there whether or not you want the alert function on.
Yeah, that's true. There is. Yeah, you can turn alerts on and off. It's very flexible.
Well, there was one right there. Bullish alert 11:07.
Mm-hmm.
It's doing something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Look at that. Huh. Oh, I see. Oh, that makes sense. That's because it's going to where my cursor is. Right.
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 But the fact that it displays is what I was saying. You don't need to check anything else. It's working.
Yeah. See, right now I've got it. My cursor is on the bar on the hard right edge of the screen, and so the bullish alert, it shows up. That's the price right now, actually, 1107, and so I guess it displays the price when all the energies align. And sure enough, when I look at the labels at the top, all 5 are green on this particular chart.
Great. Good to know.
Yeah, that's a weekly chart of Flex. All right, cool. Well, thank you. Who gave us that little tidbit there? See, the student has become the master. That was Bruce. Thank you, Bruce. Awesome.
The question says, how long has TOS been up and running? Are you referring to the indicator? I suppose not TOS, because TOS has been up for, I don't know, a decade, I guess, or longer. But the indicator's been up for, I mean, I've been using it for many years now, ever since I first created it, and long before it was actually perfected and made pretty. So the same code has been running for at least 4 or 5 years.
Okay, good. I'm still scrolling through questions here. We got a lot of, some are just comments. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one, because this is important. Asking about support. What kind of support can they expect if they need help getting things set up and so forth?
You think I would have mentioned something about that? I'm your support. You'll get a special email address. I'll give you support by email. And it's in the manual, so I don't have to put it online or anything. And you have any questions at all, we'll work out 99% of them through the email. But if it's the kind of thing that we can't, I'll just get you online and maybe just, put your platform on the screen and walk you through it, or let me show you how to do it, or whatever. It's very rare that we have to do that. But if it comes to that, I'm willing to go that far. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. Very important. People need support. Okay. Let's see. Does it work as well with tick-only charts? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Richard, in fact, that one chart I showed you was a 1,000 tick chart, 3,000 tick chart, and 9,000 tick chart. So it works for minute increments. Gary uses minute. He uses, what do you use? 3, 10, and 30, right?
I use many different combinations. I use the 3, 10, and 30 because I wanted a lot of signals on the screen tonight. But most often, many times, I use a 3 hour, 1 hour, and 20 minutes. And I drink a lot of trades with ETFs. I buy directional options in ETFs with the delta 1.00, and it's almost like buying the stock at a discount because you got all that leverage. Works great.
Mm-hmm. Mark asks if there's a limit to how many symbols can be entered into the analyzer page. That's a good question. I guess I don't really know the answer. That's, again, more of a NinjaTrader functionality. You would have to ask them that. But I'm guessing it might depend on your internet speed, the resources of your computer, and if you're day trading or just looking at things at the end of the day, end of day data probably make a big difference because of the resources required on your computer. So I don't know.
There's one thing, I'm not sure the way he asked the question, if he meant it literally the way he said it, but you don't actually enter the symbols themselves. You enter the data source. What do they call that? I'm trying to think what they refer to it as. The data.
Data feed.
Yeah, like the S&P 500, for instance, that's where your data is going to come from. And that's what you indicate in the market analyzer, you select that, and then it will put the symbols up there that's in that list.
Yeah, you can do it either way. You can, for example, go over here, right click. Oh, great, I've got my links on there.
Instrument list, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's a really nice way to do it. And you can, like, I put the NASDAQ 100 up here. That's what this is. The Dow, the S&P 500. So that's an easy and nice way to do it where it'll just populate it. Now, if you want to add an individual instrument that's not in one of those lists, you can do that too. Click on Instrument here, and then click on an individual instrument.
Right.
So, but
you have to know what you want to watch when you're doing that.
Right. But I put the S&P 500 in there, and at least I didn't have any problem with 500 symbols. So.
I just think that one of the great benefits behind the scanner in TOS and the market analyzer in NinjaTrader is the fact that it will search thousands of symbols out there and find you those where the energies are lining up. Now, that alone is worth its price, as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. That's why I pointed that out at the beginning, because I think that's one of the most powerful features of it. Okay, a lot of the questions are still the same. A lot of repeat questions. Let's see, we've answered a lot of these, which actually is good, because that means a lot of people have asked the same questions. So, okay, and then we got a bunch of people asking if it'll be available for TradeStation or MetaTrader 4 or Metastock or fill in the blank, right? Whatever their charting platform they're using. We have no plans for that right now. It takes a lot of time and money, and wow, yeah, this is a big project to do this. And we've been working on this for NinjaTrader for how long? I don't know.
Well, quite a while, and we kept saying, well, we'll have to roll it out, and then yet something would come up, and it's been a real battle to get it nice and clean, but it's good.
It has been. Yeah, we had some false starts where we thought, okay, we're going to launch it next week, and that's like, no, another little glitch came up, and so anyway, it's so much work. I mean, I'm not against doing it, but there would have to be a huge demand. See, for NinjaTrader, there was a huge demand, probably more than any other charting platform. My students use NinjaTrader. So although we have a lot of TradeStation people, a lot of MT4 people also, we offered it with Thinkorswim initially only because that's what Gary programmed it in. So, but NinjaTrader, there was just an overwhelming request for it that we decided to do it. So the answer right now is we have no plans at this point to come out with it for any other charting platform. But if I got an avalanche of requests for, one particular platform where I realized, okay, it's going to be worthwhile, then I would definitely consider doing that. I got people asking if we can use this with Renko bars. I think you've pretty much answered that when you were, it's kind of the same answer as range bars, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It'll probably work. I'm just not sure how good it'll work because it takes some of the nuances out of the individual bars.
Yeah. Okay, here's a good question asking, where do you put your stops?
That is a good question because I don't use stops.
Oh, okay.
I know where I'm going, and I'm not too far away from where it is. So I've had stops overrun. I've had stops stopped out when it was just a little glitch in the. I'd stop set too close. I don't have good luck with stops, so I don't use them. The only stops I put is a stop to keep having a catastrophic loss. But as far as a stop for an exit, no, I do use those. I use stops to prevent that thing from really taking me to the cleaners, but not for normal exits. I don't use stops.
Okay. How do you decide if the market starts turning against you? How do you decide when to get out?
That kind of goes back to how do you exit what we had before.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of looking at what I do. And everybody has their different approach on doing that. Some people, look at moving averages and, if one's crossing the other or something of that. I just look at the the candlesticks. I'm pretty good at reading them, and I get an idea of which way something is going to go. It's just like on that left chart you have a candlestick on the bottom, that little bearish run. It's got a big wick on the bottom, and there's another one with a wick. That's a pretty good signal it's going to turn north, and sure enough, it did.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say it will every time, but if I get the same sort of thing while I'm in a trade, I'll respect it.
Yeah. Okay, so you rely on candlestick patterns as well.
Oh, yes, for exits, I sure do.
Okay, that's good. Several people have asked if the second chance patterns like mini divergences, convergences are taken into account. They are not in the Top Dog Visualized Trader. So, good question. Let's see. Does the Thinkorswim version have the cycle counter too? No, it does not. No. Can the charts be set to different time frames, such as tick, range, charts, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it can be set to any time frame that is available in NinjaTrader, can be set up for the indicator for the Visualized Trader. So yeah, absolutely. Mark asked, does it matter if I use a Mac? No, as long as anything you can use NinjaTrader on, if you can use NinjaTrader on a Mac, then it'll work. I don't know if you can use NinjaTrader on a Mac. I don't have a Mac, but if you can, then yeah, this will work on it. Let's see. Okay, boy, a lot of the same questions here.
Read your manual.
Yeah, well, they don't have a manual yet, so that's
it's kind of like Nancy said. Well, you have to pass it to see what's in it.
Yeah, but they want to make an educated decision, and I respect that.
It's a joke, Barry.
I know. So Dave is asking, how does volume factor into the recommendations?
You want me to take that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Essentially, volume is an indication of how much activity is going on that particular bar. I believe, and a lot of other people believe, that if you have an increase of volume on a bar, and whichever direction it's going in, up or down, it's a good sign that it'll continue moving in the direction that you wish. That's why the volume indicator that comes with this study has red and green bars, but they are not red and green because of up and down candles. Green simply means that the volume of that bar is higher than the volume of the bar before it. If you have three consecutive green bars, as a matter of fact, on the chart you have on the screen, on the right chart, the one that's got E2, you see three candles going down, and yet the volume bars are all going up and they're all green. That's because the volume of each one of those candles was a little bit higher than the candle before it. If we had been if we'd had a signal there, it would have been lying to us, but we didn't get one, did we?
Okay, very good. Okay, Again, a lot of the same questions, which you've already answered. Actually, okay, so Bob asked, when using tick charts, the volume does not work correct. No, it does work, but it is different. Using volume in general, whether it's this indicator or another one, I think does work better, give better signals on time-based charts or time-based bars, than tick bars. So it works, but I would say it doesn't give as good as signals, because the tick bars, by definition, kind of smooth out how long each bar is going to last, and kind of smooth the volume of each bar as well. Even though it's not directly measuring volume, it is limiting the number of trades counted in each bar. So that has kind of a side effect of smoothing out the volume underneath each bar.
But, and given that token, the relationship for each of the bars is the same, so you should be able to still detect volume indications. Because like I say, you're counting trades on the bars. It's true that, you know, the volume may be different for the trade count, but there ought to be some kind of an association that generally exists in that environment.
Yeah, there is. In fact, I can bring up some tick charts here. I'll do that. Another question that's coming up a lot is, can I put this on more than one computer? The answer is yes. Yes, we do. Good question. We will allow you to put it on up to 2 computers for just without any extra charge for an extra license or anything like that. Because I know, you know, the reality is a lot of people want to put it on a home computer or a desktop and a laptop, and so sure, absolutely. Okay, I'm bringing up some tick charts here right now. We can look at volume a little bit. Actually, I just need one really. All right. Okay, so there's a 3,000 tick chart of the E-minis. So you can see that the volume bar, the volume histogram at the bottom, pretty much hovers right around the average. There's not a lot of big spikes or ones where it's way below the average like you would get on a daily bar or a 5-minute bar, for example. But still, you know, like here's a signal to go along where the energies align, and that is accompanied by, you know, a much higher than average volume bar. So that's good stuff. That's what you want.
Also followed by a little pop-up.
Yep. And then if you got your wave counts, you know, then you can be a little more sophisticated even and realize that, oh, okay, you know, we're golden here. So we're still trading essentially within a first retrace in a trend. And, you know, we've gone up to this resistance level here, the previous cycle high, and we've just kind of followed it here. And that's a very bullish pattern, by the way, where the market just hangs there at a resistance level, doesn't bounce off of it down, but it goes to a resistance level and goes sideways. I take that as a bullish pattern. So, and that's exactly, boom, what happens here.
Certainly when you get the breakout.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, there's not enough, you know, there's hesitation because everybody sees that resistance, but there's no real selling. There may be a little profit trade taking, but there's no real dramatic short selling there. Okay. Yes, we will have future training available. Like I said, we've got one training video out already, and we'll bring out others as we see what questions people have. If you're new to NinjaTrader, some people are asking about that. NinjaTrader will provide you the help themselves for learning the platform. We don't provide that because, well, that's not our platform. It's not our business, and they know their platform better than we do. And that training is already in place, both with a bunch of videos on their website, as well as they always have live webinars every week, like pretty much every day of the week, I think. So they're very good at supporting and helping with that. Now, if you have any specific help you need with regard to the Visualized Trader specifically, then that's where we come in and we provide the support for that. In fact, Gary provides that support. He's the guy who invented this, so he knows it better than anyone does.
Barry, there's one caveat to that. On the market analyzer, which NinjaTrader will do a great job supporting you. And as a matter of fact, they already have pre-printed steps that if you'll follow them, it will work out quite well for you. But there's one thing they do not cover. When you select the plot under your 2 or 1 time frame or whatever it is that you want the signal,
correct,
you want the word signal. There is bullish alert and bearish alert in there,
yes,
but that is not what triggers the signal. You want the word signal to be in the plot.
Correct. That's a good point. Let me show them what you mean by that, because that's a very important point, and I know exactly what you're referring to because I didn't get that at first myself. So what you do when you load it up here, and thanks for mentioning that, Let's see, we go to columns, okay. So what you're going to do down here, plot, it will be average. That's what it defaults to. And it won't show up correctly unless you go down here and you click on that and you go to signal, because that's what alerts your signal. See down here, special cell conditions. What we do is create new and then change cell if it equals 0. I just use black and the word neutral. If it's less than 1 means bearish, where they're all aligning to the downside. I make it red and I type the word bearish in there. And greater than 0, put in the word green, where I type in the word bullish and select the color green, and white foreground, which is the type. So that's how you set all that up. But that stuff won't show unless you go to plot and change it from average, which is what it will be when you open it, to signal. So, and if you didn't follow all that, that's fine. Again, once you get the program, we'll help you with that if you need it. But you're right. That's one area where a lot of people do get confused. In fact, I myself did. I had to come to, I figured it was you or the other guy who helped on this project, and ask him, my signals are not showing up on the market analyzer. What's going on here? I think it's broken. He's like, no, you just had to click on that little box there.
That was me.
Okay, thank you. You helped me out. So,
because I stumbled with it too, and I says, what's going on? And then I remembered, if you remember, we had to do a rewrite to get the little triangles on the screen.
Yes.
And we had to establish those -1, +1 values to get +1 for the green, for the bullish signal, and a -1 for bearish signal. And of course, that's what we had in the code, was the word signal. And then we based it off of -1, +1. So that's what you do. That's why you have greater than 0 and less than 0 in order to determine whether it's bullish or bearish in the market analyzer.
Right, right. Okay, questions about the subscription model. What do we mean by $2.99 a year? Well, we just mean that you're licensing this. It's not even just an indicator. It's really a suite. I would call it a suite of indicators or tools. It goes beyond just an indicator, really. And so it's $2.99 for a year, and it's renewed every year unless till you cancel it. You can cancel it any time, obviously, but it is a one-year subscription, and then the next year would be $2.99 again if you choose to keep it. So that's it. Let's see. Oh, some people are asking about the Elliott waves. They think these are Elliott waves. These are not actually Elliott waves. Believe it or not, these are Barry waves. And so what I mean by that is I don't see, well, let's see, I went flat right there. Let's see if we can find an example here. Well, actually, all these are examples. So you see, for example, in Elliott wave, they insist that you have only 5 waves. Everything's fit into 5 waves. But with my methodology, no. We have a way of, see, for example, here there's only 3 waves down. But it's tied in with the cycle indicator, and we're counting cycles, and in conjunction with higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. So in a nutshell, that's what we're doing. But I don't use Elliott wave personally. I don't have anything against it. I have friends who use it and use it successfully. But the reason I don't like it is because they're too subjective, in my opinion. So, and I also, kind of the philosophy of it is you're forcing this structure of 5 waves on the market. And to me, the market is going to do what it's going to do. Sometimes it might move 5 waves, sometimes it might move 9 waves. And it's not for me to limit it to 5. So yeah, it's very simple. That's why it's so easy to program, because it's simply higher highs, higher lows in conjunction with cycles. Alrighty. In fact, several people ask if it works better for Thinkorswim or NinjaTrader. I'll invite you to address that, Gary. My thought is that, I have both, and I think it works fine on both. The biggest difference I would say is really you got Market Analyzer on NinjaTrader, and then you've got the scanner on Thinkorswim.
I agree. They work equally well, and there's some differences between. Hang on a second. Had to do a little throat clearing there. They work equally well on either platform. The Market Analyzer just presents it in a different way than the scan program does, and there's features on both of those that would be advantageous for one platform over the other. But overall, they both work great, and they're probably competitive with one another.
Mm-hmm. Raymond's asking what brokers offer Thinkorswim. I think it's only TD Ameritrade, isn't it?
That's pretty much it. Overseas or in Canada, it goes by Price Waterhouse, I think, or somebody like that. But it's all TD Ameritrade associated. They all really kind of hooked at the hip.
Yeah, I think they bought out some other companies, and yeah, they might be called something else in other countries, but so that's as far as I know. Okay, next question, good one. When you click on the instrument on the analyzer, does it take you to that particular one on the 3 time frames? Not, well,
if you link them.
Yeah, if you link them, basically what you have to do is it just, how do we say this? I think I know what he's asking, I'm not sure, but if you click on the market in the Market Analyzer, it won't bring up a chart of the time frame you have set in Market Analyzer. It'll you have to set the time intervals on the charts themselves. So you can set up 3 charts, 5 charts, 10 charts on different time intervals, and then link all of them to the Market Analyzer. And then when you click on that stock or Forex pair or whatever in the Market Analyzer, it will change all those charts to that market at the same time.
Just be aware that NinjaTrader is a resource hog. So if you open up too many things at one time, it may slow it down, depending on your computer, of course.
Yeah. Market Analyzer is a NinjaTrader feature, yes. Yes, and yeah, definitely works on monthly, weekly, daily charts. Yes, absolutely. Again, people asking if they could put it on more than one computer. Yes, you can put it on up to 2 computers. Yes, it works for swing trading very well. I think really powerful for swing trading because of the Market Analyzer feature where you can see at a glance what energies are aligned on multiple time frames. Oh, this is a good one. I think it does. Richard's asking, does the moving average on the chart changing color come with the Visualize Trader software package?
It does.
It does, right? Yeah. And yes, it can be set to any time period, so you don't have to use the 50 MA. In fact, you can even change it from the 50 SMA to a 50 EMA. I remember at least when we started, you were using the 50 EMA, Gary.
Yep.
And there's other types of moving averages in there, but you could change it to a 9 moving average or any moving average you wanted to. So yes.
I now use the 44 SMA.
Oh, really?
Okay. It just smoothed it out a little bit more when I went to the SMA, and the 44 just sped it up a tiny bit, and I quit getting those little false reads that you get, just like one little section has a change in color. So I did that, but it's an infinite difference. It's hardly noticeable, but that's the way traders are, right?
Yep. Okay, let's see. Well, the Market Analyzer is a NinjaTrader function, not a Visualize Trader function. But, well, Thinkorswim, that's an interesting question, actually, that Bill's asking. Let me ask you this, Gary. Thinkorswim, they don't have a thing called Market Analyzer, but they do have a quote screen where you can put a bunch of symbols in there, right?
Well, I think equivalent to the Market Analyzer would be the scanning program.
Yeah.
you just build up whatever kind of parameters you want. Like when I do my scans in TOS, I not only scan for those that match the signals, but also include whether or not it's an optionable stock or whether it's an ETF. Like I only want to scan ETFs that are optional, and I only want to have so much open interest and all of that stuff in it. And I put all that in there, and then I'll determine what time frames I want my signals to read off of. And a lot of times I just use one because that's good enough. The energies line up on that, and it's got my attention. I'm not likely to jump in right away anyway. Sometimes I'll use two. But in the end, it ends up with a list of symbols that you want to look at. Here, they're all listed. You just have to pick them out by color. The other divides them. You can divide them up to bullish and bearish in two different lists. But the end result is the same. You both get ones that are linked to the charts.
Right, exactly. Let's see. I've got a few option traders here asking about options. I wouldn't personally, I mean, it'd be an interesting experiment, I guess. I'm not saying you can't do this. I haven't actually tried it, but I haven't tried putting this on an actual option chart. In other words, charting the option itself. When I trade options, I don't really look at those charts. I've experimented with doing it, but I haven't really found that to be very valuable. What I do is I look at the chart of the underlying. So I would use this on the underlying market. In other words, if you're trading options on Microsoft, I look at the chart of Microsoft stock, and then I make a decision about the which expiration date I want to use and all that kind of stuff with the options.
That's exactly the way I do it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there was someone who asked a question. If there's any videos on the Thinkorswim, I think it's about 4 hours of video from one session. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah. It's all on YouTube. Yeah, if you go to the Top Dog Trading channel, thank you for bringing that up. Actually, I should have thought to bring that up. That's a good point. Yeah, just go to the Top Dog Trading channel on YouTube. And yeah, we did a ton of videos. We did a lot of webinars, live webinars, and on the Thinkorswim platform. But that same stuff will apply equally to the NinjaTrader version. So all the principles are exactly the same. So you can go and check it out now. Those videos are up there for free. So yeah, if you want to know more.
Work on a VIX too. I see somebody's been tried on a VIX. Yeah, it's just another symbol.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Okay, how heavy is this software? It's about 73 pounds. No. Sorry.
That's a joke, guys.
No, I'm teasing. I know what Lewis means. He's asking, will it slow down the computer too much? We've had several people ask that. How resource intensive is it?
It's not that resource intensive. Ninja uses a C#, and it's not a terrifically large program in C#, though it's certainly not a small program. And a TOS uses ThinkScript, that's a JavaScript. So it runs very nicely. You won't even notice a difference when you put them on.
Yeah, I have had zero problem with it. And believe me, I've had some other indicators that I have imported that have really bogged down my system. And I've had absolutely zero problem with this. So yeah, for me, there's been no problem. Yeah, you can have more. Michael asks if you can have 2 market analyzers open concurrently. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we'll put together a FAQ once we get enough questions coming in that we know what the most common questions are. Sure, be happy to do that. Eli is asking what PC means. Why don't you explain that, Gary? PC. PC is up there, it says on the chart.
The word PC stands for the words price change. So it's simply the close of one bar to the next bar. Did it go up or did it go down? If it's green, price went up. If it's red, price went down. And one might say, gee, that's not worth a whole lot. Well, it's kind of like volume. It's simply trying to enter a trade in the direction of price. That's the whole purpose behind it. That's not part of the original methodology, but it was what I had found that would increase my odds of a short-term price running in my direction. Now, how many times I've taken a trade, and as soon as I made the trade, I was in the hole. So I was trying to avoid that, and it worked pretty well, so I left it in.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I like it. Let's see here. So again, quite a few people asking this question. Even though I've answered some of these questions, people are asking after I've answered, and I know not everybody got in right at the beginning of the webinar, so I'll answer them again. No, the Visualized Trader is a separate package from the NinjaTrader custom indicators. There's no bundle deal or anything like that. They're separate. That's $2.99 is the cost, and the links to purchase are in the chat box. The first link is for the NinjaTrader version, and the second link is for the Thinkorswim version. And both of them are in the chat box right now. They're clickable links. If you can't click them and they don't open up for you automatically, then just copy and paste into the address bar of your browser. Let's see here. Oh, and a ton of people asking if this is being recorded, and the answer is yes. And you will all receive an email with a link to the recording as soon as I've rendered the video and posted it to, I haven't decided if I'm going to post it to my server or YouTube. Probably do YouTube. That's what I did last time. Makes it easy for everybody.
I see a question. Is it can it run on an iPad? I had a question from a guy that sent me an email today. And I says, well, I'm not sure because I'm not real familiar with the iPad, but do this. Can you get a moving average and a Keltner channel on your iPad? And he said, yes, I can. And I said, well, if you can install it, you can see it on iPad.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have known the answer to that one. Richard's asking if I use Kinetic for my data feed. Yes, I do, sir. That is what I use. Reg says I could always build the custom indicator for other platforms for only $100 billion. Well, that's tempting. Yeah, he's just joking, and I know that. I like people with this sense of humor. It's good. Oh, here's a good one. What about support resistance lines? Gary, do you use support resistance at all? You know I do, but what about you?
Yes, I have a proprietary package for that, Mr. Barry. You know I do, but I haven't written it in Ninja yet. It's still in TOS.
Yeah.
And I haven't put it out on the market either, and it works great. You asked me about it once. What are those lines?
Yeah, no, I know about it, but yeah. I just use. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe we'll offer it on TOS. I don't know. We'll see what you think.
Okay, well, that's up to you. You know, you own it, so it's yours. It's your creation, and
Sure.
But if you want, I'd be happy to support you in that. But you know, as for me, yes, I do use support resistance levels. So I look at previous major swing highs and lows, where the market has already shown significant value at highs or lows. Also, floor trader pivots for intraday trading, the previous day's high, low, and close. Fibonacci levels, and when I'm longer term trading, I'll look at 52-week highs and lows and things like that. So yeah, to me, support resistance is very important. Absolutely. Okay. I
don't know what that question means. Average on the ES chart in addition to the 50 SMA.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, again, well, these questions have just come in late, and even though we've answered them, some people weren't able to come in at the beginning of the webinar, and we understand that. Everyone's schedule is different. We're all busy people, so I'll answer some of these questions again. So the bar or the arrows, the little triangles, they will show up intra-bar, but and that's good because that'll create an alert for you to get your attention and start paying attention to the chart and analyze it. But I personally don't take the trade until the bar is closed, and then that arrow, that triangle, is locked in. Once that bar closes, that triangle will not go away. So you can actually go back and back test and see the signals are reliable. So, but anyway, that's the answer to that question. We don't. Another question that's come up a lot is, do we have a lifetime license? We do not. We do not have that at this time. Not saying we will never, but I just no, we don't have that option right now.
We just barely got it issued by NinjaTrader.
Yeah, I know. That's just what happens, you know. It's like, the day we come out with something and people want all these, you know, extra things, and it's like, well, those are some great ideas, but you know, we're still trying to catch our breath here from the last 6 months of putting this thing together. Yeah. Gary's, or no, it's not Gary. They're asking if, or someone's asking if you put together a course using the indicator focusing on the exchange traded funds. Would you see any need for a course specifically and using this indicator with the exchange traded funds?
No, it's just another symbol.
Yeah.
No, it's nothing special about ETFs except they're just a little bit more stable than stocks are, and that's it. Other than that, they're just something else is traded on a daily basis, just not as crazy.
Yeah, I'd agree. I wouldn't see a need for a course focusing on ETFs. No, but thanks for asking, but I don't think it's necessary. Hey, I'd love to tell you something, but
pay me to waste your time. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not how we roll. So
No.
we're not going to charge you for something we don't feel is, you know, necessary or worthwhile. Okay, Bob is asking what other moving averages I have on my chart. Well, on the one you see now, the black line, the thin little black line, that's a 15 EMA, 15 exponential moving average. Personally, I also use the 100 simple moving average and the 200 simple moving average. Let's see. This question, I'm not sure what it means. Is it work option and feature? Is it work option and feature? I don't know what they mean by that.
I don't either. Maybe it's a typo.
Yeah, or maybe they're just asking if it works with options. Oh, you know what? I'll bet it's this. They're asking if it works on options and futures.
Oh, I bet you're right.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of answered that. I don't think even one of us have experience in actually trying to plot the options chart. To begin, it's real tough typing that symbol in there to get that chart to come up. But we just use the underlying in order to trade the options, which is the same thing as what you're already doing when you're trading stock. And of course, futures, absolutely, it'll work great on futures.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Works great on futures and, well, just what Gary said about options. So, yeah. And yes, on Forex, several people asking about using it on Forex. Absolutely. Works great on Forex. And FXCM offers NinjaTrader. Yeah, you can use it on their version of NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is NinjaTrader. You know, it's the same scripting language. So they may have a little slightly different version, I don't know, but it still comes from the NinjaTrader company, and so it still has NinjaScript as its programming language, and therefore, yes, absolutely.
There's a question about paper trade TOS, or they say here free TOS. It works equally well in paper trade as it does the live version, but you cannot do the scan program in the paper trade because it will not allow you to add study filters, even standard study filters. You can't add them in paper trades, but all the rest will work.
That's right. I forgot about that. Now that you mentioned it, I remembered that. Okay, and the same thing with, we've had a few people ask about NinjaTrader in simulator mode. Yes, it'll work in simulator mode as long as you've got to have the data coming in, obviously. But actually, you know what? With your stuff here, nothing requires live data. So as long as you have even historic data, it'll show up, right?
Actually, you might check. I stream TD Ameritrade through NinjaTrader as my data source.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I have a live data source in a simulated trade.
Yeah, but I mean, I've brought it up without, for example, I brought up charts with the Top Dog Visualized Trader on the charts without connecting to my data feed, and it shows up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's one free version that gives you end-of-day numbers. I don't know if that's what it is.
Right, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's a major difference between TOS and NinjaTrader. You don't pay for anything with TOS. You know, the data's free. Everything's free.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. I never thought of this. Has the indicator ever been tried on the VIX index?
Sure. It's just another index.
Yeah.
Like the ES. You know?
Okay, let's see. Again, still people asking if there's a TradeStation version available. No, I'm sorry, there's not. No, we don't have any plans for that right now, but if there's a huge demand in the future, then I would consider doing it. But we just got done with this, and I've got some other projects that I'm going to be doing in the near future. So I wouldn't, if you're interested in this, I wouldn't wait for it on TradeStation because it wouldn't be for quite a while. Yeah, okay. Terry's saying, well, he doesn't see the link for ordering in the question box. It's not in the question box. It's actually in the chat box.
Barry, when they click on that link, you remember you had the screen you had me go to with the video screen, and there were a couple of links from there. One went to TOS and one went to NinjaTrader. Is that part of the path, or does it go directly to the cart?
No, it doesn't go to the cart. It goes to the product page, which has a video on it.
Well, there's a TOS link on there as well as a NinjaTrader link, so they're both there.
Yeah, they're both there. And can you see my notepad? I'm actually typing it in here. Can you see my notepad on the screen?
I don't even know where the chat box is. Oh, here it is. Let me open it up.
Okay. What I'm going to do is...
I see it there.
Okay.
It looks like it's a live link.
Yeah, it's live. But if people are on mobile devices, they cannot see that, and probably it isn't a clickable link even if they could see it. So I just brought up my notepad, and on that notepad, there's the links. There's the URLs, I should say, for NinjaTrader and for Thinkorswim.
Just copy those and drop them in your Microsoft Word, and you'll have them.
Yeah. So, okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, questions are still piling in. All right, we're gonna have to end it here pretty soon, but I'll answer a few more. Let's see. Okay, answered that one. Okay, no, it does not show many divergences or second chance patterns. Can percent K be set for both 80 and 20 at the same time, or only one or the other? Asked Doug.
That's a good question. I've seen some other questions come through that. Let me see if I can explain it to you. You only select the lower value. So when you select the 20 value, it sets the 80-20. Remember, it's 0 to 100. So we're going from 0 to 20, we back off 20 from the 100. So that resets your parameters between 20 and 80. If you put 30 in there, it will reset the parameters between 30 and 70. If you put 10 in there, it will reset the parameters between 10 and 90. So it only allows trades between those two parameters. Anything that exceeds that would be considered in the upper or lower ends of stochastics, and it wouldn't allow the trade signal to be there.
Yes, and another way to think of that is to think of the number you enter there as the percentage that it would be away from either the bottom or the top, the 0 or the 100 line.
Great mind.
So if you put it at 20, that means it'll signal either at 20 off the bottom or 80 off the top. If you put it at 30, then it'll be 30 and 70. 50 would be, well, 50-50. So.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Either above or below the 50. I mean,
yep.
that's it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Simon says, so the significance of the setup and trigger charts is replaced by the confluence of the triangle signals. Well, yes, but you'd still want, I would still look at them on, well, let me see, the significance of the setup and trigger charts. I still want to look at them on both time frames. So, but I would just be looking at the, if you get triangles on multiple time frames, 2 or 3 time frames, you got mom angling in your direction. Remember that, because this does require that mom is angling in the direction of the trade. Now, here's what's powerful. Not only does it require that mom's going to be angling in the direction of the trade on the higher time frame, it's also requiring that mom's angling in the direction of the trade on your setup chart. So that's why this is, it's really a stricter requirement to get a signal on the visualized trader than it is in the traditional top dog trading methodology, because you're requiring more. We don't require in the traditional top dog trading methodology that mom is angling up on the setup chart. Now, we say in the fewer better trades video that that's one way to increase your probability of success. Well, you know, Gary's built that right in so that in his method here, you don't even get a signal unless mom is angling up on both charts or all 3 charts. And trend is angling up on all 3 charts. And dad is angling up on all 3 charts. And volume is up. And price is up. And so, you know, it's really demanding a lot of the market. It's talking about, you know, we are looking for dominant movement in one direction on 3 different scales. So that's the power of it. It's a very conservative way of trading.
I had a question some time ago. Guy says, well, can I take a trade without an arrow? Just happened to be on TOS. Well, on TOS, you can actually turn the arrows off if you want to and just use the labels. I don't think you can do that in NinjaTrader, but you can certainly ignore them. And if you want to, you can just trade with the labels. And if you said, well, you know, I want all green on this chart, but the other chart I don't need all green, and if, you know, I don't have it for dad, because that's generally the lazy boy in the crowd. He's the last one to come around. Right. I don't really need it for dad, and I'll just take a trade without dad. Well, fine, you can do that if you want. I mean, it's up to you. You have the labels to look at.
Right, right. Okay, Heinz, yes, I've already answered that question several times. There is not the special discount for multiple packages for people who currently have another software package or whatever. These are separate entities. So sorry, no problem. No, it's okay. If you didn't hear it or you might have come in late or whatever, you know, we understand that. But you looked upset, so I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. That's all. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this is a good question. If the indicators, such as MACD, DAD, MOM, the moving average, stochastics, whatever, if they're not showing on your screen, if you don't have them on your screen, will the visualized trader still give signals? And the answer is yes. It will. You don't have to have the indicators on your chart at all. It has those, the mathematics of the indicators are built into Visualized Trader, even though the indicators may not show on your screen or you may not have even put them on your screen. Mathematically, it's calculating them behind the scenes.
Fact of the matter is, I haven't displayed those indicators on my screen in years.
Yeah, that's true. Gary doesn't even put them on his charts. Let's see. I like to trade. This is Samuel. I like to trade 1 hour charts with a higher time frame. Can I use for what higher time frame can I use for confirmation? Sorry, I misread that. Well, my personal preference would be a 3 hour chart, but you could also use a 4 hour chart. But I like 3 hour, 1 to 3 ratio is what I like, but 1 to 4 works out okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. You know, I know some people are getting impatient because they're saying, well, I'm not getting to their question. You have to understand, we've had like 500 people all asking questions, so it takes a while. It's just, we're taking them in the order they came. And so, sorry, not ignoring anybody here. Okay, I got to go here pretty soon. James wants to see a 1 minute chart. He's the last question here. Sure, we can show a 1 minute chart. There's a 1 minute chart. Well, that's the ES after hours, so that's kind of messy. Let's show it during market hours here. Okay. CL, of crude, okay. I don't think I have crude up right now. Let me add it. Shoot, hold on a second.
I have a hard time doing that.
Yeah, it's a little slow to add this. I used to have crude up here, and I've been doing so much traveling lately that I, let's see.
No, Exxon up there.
Yeah.
How close are you going to get to crude?
Yeah. There we go. Now let's see. Any other questions coming up here while I'm doing this? I found it. Let me add it real quick. Okay. So yeah, the order links are in the chat box below. So you can order from there. They should be clickable links. If they're not, just copy and paste it into the address bar of your browser. Oh, I don't think, oh yeah, it is.
I'll tell you a question I really don't understand. It says use with respect to TS, a person could use a free version of NinjaTrader alongside TS. Yeah, you could, but why not just use the free version of TS if you have TS?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand that one.
Well, I don't know. Crude's not coming up for some reason. I'll have to look into that. So I just brought up a 1 minute chart of Duke.
That'll work.
You know what? I don't think we've shown Forex. Let's show some spot Forex markets here. Bring up the Euro. There you go. That's what it looks like on the Forex. So 1 minute chart's pretty crazy, but
yeah, I pretty much don't even go to the Forex market anymore.
Am I giving personal training classes? No, not really. We might if there's some need. I mean, you get the manual with it, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory, and there's a lot of videos in YouTube that shows how to do the visualized trader. And if there's a need, you know, I think we're both open to doing a live webinar or two. But there will be some videos for you. I've got one done already. And but then you also have the live help. You can contact Gary via his email address, and he'll be happy to personally help you.
And you'll find that when you ask me one question, I'll generally answer a whole bunch you hadn't asked me because I got a feeling they're coming. Matter of fact, I had a guy write me an email back today. It says, I feel like I have a personal mentor.
Well, you know, that is true. That's one thing. Gary and I just resonated right away with our philosophies because he's so generous and so nice and really cares about people. And so, yeah, he will give you not just technical support, but he'll also throw a few extra goodies in there just to help people. He just genuinely likes to help people. So he's that's why we work together, because of his integrity. I feel very, very strongly that he gives great support. And I know he does because I've gotten the feedback from my students too.
I have got another way this has really paid off for me. I've made some great friends of people that have acquired the TOS version, and I hope to do so with the Ninja guys too.
Great. All right, everybody. Well, it's the top of the hour. We've been on for 2 hours, so I think we've pretty much said all we can say at this point, at least, and given people a good overview. And they have a pretty good feel for what it is. If you do have any questions, feel free to email us. Gary, is it okay if I give your email?
Certainly.
Yeah, okay. Let me pull that over here into the...
Do the Top Dog Study email. I monitor it every day.
Okay, oh, I know you do.
There it is on the bottom. You had it there on the bottom.
Oh, you saw it? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so there it is. I just pulled my little notepad over. So again, at the top of this notepad on your main screen, you can see the NinjaTrader link to order the Visualize Trader, and below that, the Thinkorswim link to order the Visualize Trader. There's also a little 5 or 6 minute video there, by the way, and you can watch that to get a quick little overview. And then there's my email address, and under that, topdogstudy@gmail.com. If you have any questions about the Visualize Trader, that's Gary's special email just for the Visualize Trader, topdogstudy@gmail.com. That's the email to use, and you can talk to the man himself, the expert, the genius who came up with this, and he'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you for being here. We had, wow, overflowing crowd today. In fact, I think there was one point when some people were trying to get in and they couldn't because all the seats were taken. So I'm sure I'll get a lot of emails about that. But
we have to. We'll do another one, so we'll get to them.
Well, that's true, and also I did record this, so I will be sending them and everybody recording as soon as it's available, probably tomorrow. So
now, you guys remember this. You were asking for information, and Barry's been kind enough to record this, but he has done a terrific number of videos on YouTube. And the Visual Trader is Visual Trader. It doesn't make any difference what platform it's for. So you can learn a lot by watching those videos that he's done. And I've done a couple out there, though they weren't sensational. His were a lot better.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, and one question that came up a lot I forgot to answer is the price right now is $299. That's correct. When is it going to go up? We really haven't decided, on that. So, yeah, I would say, if you're interested, get it. And if you're not, then don't. No hard sell here at all. We're just, we haven't been selling you. We've been just describing. We've been sharing. We've been demonstrating. We've been educating. And we believe you guys, you know what you want and what you don't, whether it resonates with you or whether it doesn't. And either way is fine. But, it's there for you if you want. So we don't have any particular plans on when we're going to increase the prices or anything like that at this time. So had quite a few people ask that, so I just wanted to address that issue before we closed out. All right, well, thank you, everybody. And Gary, thank you so much, sir, for taking time out of yours. And I know you have a very, very busy schedule between all the things you're doing with your family and so forth. So thank you for your generosity.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, my pleasure. Okay, everybody, have a good rest of the day and happy trades.